Good day, good love, good light, illuminators and way showers. Thank you for being with us today once again.
555.
555. 555. It is 5:55 p.m. and so we're very excited to express ourselves today in this way regarding 5 and the 5 and the experiences I've been having with the energy we call 5. The 5 that presented themselves to me on 5/14/2021 in the 55555 energy. And so they've been talking with me just a little bit. If you're new to my channel, hi. My name is Wendy with Languages of Lights, and this is Dave.
High five.
High five. High five. High five. Thank you for joining us again. So whether you're watching this on Languages of Lights or our Open Contact TV channel, because this really is about open contact, it also is about the language of light, in that the language of light is transmitted and represented to us in numbers. And so with that said, this energy came to me and literally started saying hello. They're the 5, and so I'm hoping to wanting to see what maybe they might want to share with us today. So we've been doing a little bit of exploration ourselves with the idea of number 5 and why they've come to join me and us and what information that they may have to share. So one of the first things I wanted to share with all of you is that they're very excited to express themselves. And so the number 5 for the sacred circuitry from Sirius is express. So today, not being equaling a number 5, but that it just felt like today was the day that we wanted to share a little bit about this energy and who they are and how they presented themselves to me. And so we are 5 is how the first really transmission came in, and the date on that day equaled 15. So there was this synchronistic energy with the energy of the 5s, and also the idea that the 5s had equaled 25, and then if you add 5 and 2 together equals 7. Since that time, we've done and been guided to by the 5 to do some exploration about the 5 and 2, and so there's some things that they began to point out to me, and then we were guided to do a little bit of our own exploration. So
pairs of 5.
Pairs of 5. Pairs of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just get that?
Mm-hmm.
Pairs of 5.
2 5. Pairs of 5.
Pairs of 5.
So 5 fingers, 2 hands.
Pairs of 5. And that's sort of how
5 toes.
That is kind of how the whole thing began. Was they started explaining that, and I've just been working through my own belief systems about letting them speak rather than me speaking for them. So that's something that today at 5:55 p.m. we were gathering this idea and this energy, and so.
So the idea is, if you focus and think about 5 and all the things that you could think of that represent 5, it is exciting to them to participate in your excitement about, even if it's just a game of how many things could we think of that have to do with 5. And I'm going to list a couple of them because we spent a lot of time sharing back and forth.
And I do feel their energy. I do feel their energy hanging here. So
you will also connect to that if you wish, and share in our energy and their energy. But I want to invite you to look up yourself, to first try to come up with ideas on your own of 5, but then you could look it up. And I want to say that there are an awful lot of things in mathematics.
And 5-letter words. 5-letter words.
5-letter words.
5-letter words.
One of the things The number 5 is the fifth Fibonacci number, being 2 plus 3. And there are all kinds of mathematical things and mathematical terms. One is that we found very exciting was, what was it called? The untouchable number. The only untouchable number.
And numbers are
and number
5.
2 and 5, yes. However,
but 5 is the one that is known as
the only prime untouchable number.
The only prime untouchable number. So there's a lot of threads to this.
So it's a funny work on play on words, untouchable, and exactly why it's called that, I don't know. There's a whole big mathematical explanation.
There is, which we're not completely clear on either.
and also having to do with a triangle. 5 is the length of the hypotenuse of the smallest integer-sided right triangle. So there's all kinds of things numeric.
So there's numeric references. There are
of course 5 is the atomic number of a boron. Number of appendages on most starfish.
Okay, and that's where the energy is going to start here with this whole starfish thing, because that's really part of the reason I've tapped so deeply into this energy is because of my connection to starfish.
So I want to just throw a couple more things.
Yes.
Hurricane ratings, tornado ratings. The highest ratings are typically Cat 5.
Cat 5, yes, they're Category 5.
F5. There might be higher ratings theoretically, but I think typically the Category 5 is, once you hit it, the rest doesn't really matter.
Well, and we even talked about just in our own, the things that we came up with on our own. 5-star hotel, 5-star ratings, 5-star general.
V represents 5
in Roman numerals.
The fifth planet,
The fifth planet is Jupiter, and
our
Jupiter,
largest planet,
which is the largest planet of our solar system, which also happens to be my. I was born under the sun sign of Sagittarius. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and this full moon coming up on the 26th is the full moon, super moon, flower moon in Sagittarius, and I've always resonated, of course, with flowers, and if you've watched any of my videos, if you haven't, I invite you to. Lots of flower information.
And I'm going to also mention there's lots of 5s in sports, such as 5 people on a side in basketball, and some other sports as well. So that's a pair of 5s.
A pair, yes. That's true on each side.
And so keep that in mind, because we spent hours looking up things.
I mean, it was crazy because the energy was so high, and we all as channels at some point wonder, okay, what is this? Am I making this up? Is this real? Why is this coming to me? Why does it feel this way? So there's always these, not always, and not with everybody. It's just in my experience and in others who have shared these sorts of experiences with, when they're receiving information from channeling, it's like, is this real? Is it right? Is what I'm saying? Am I making it up? And the thing is it's yes to all of those things, because it really is just another part of our consciousness. And there's reasons why we have these themes, why we're connecting to these things, why it is part of our consciousness and conscious connection, and why they were explaining why we connected with each other, if you will. Was there a couple other things that you wanted to share? I mean, because there's some things that, of course, they want to share as well. So
I just want to.
Oh, there it is. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes,
the photos, because I'd like to share that first.
So besides starfish,
because I wanted to show you.
We also have.
Because I was going to show them some of my drawings
too. The sand dollar, which
were coming through. So now this all sort of came through.
Here's just an example.
So there's the sand dollar, and the image that they were giving me telepathically was the starfish, and then also, as I started drawing it out and we started realizing certain things, I was realizing that I had been drawing this pattern really for years. But this idea of the five-petaled flowers, they mentioned it the other day in a video about the 5-petaled flowers. And if you look at the sand dollar, it's kind of got 5 petals. It also has the 5.
Oh, it looks exactly like what you drew.
So, and I didn't even realize it till after they were sending me the image, and I said, "Oh, sand dollars." Well, we've got starfish and sand dollars all over the house. I've been collecting sand dollars and starfish all my life. I've had them hanging up. I had them on my vision board. So there's always been this connection to that. And I think for many of us that's true. And then you're talking about the Fibonacci spiral, the seashells that depict sacred geometry in so many intricate ways. The flowers, how they depict, replicate, demonstrate, what's the word I'm looking for, that they show us, represent sacred geometry. We've been feeling a lot in the energy, so I just wanted to show you some of my drawings here over the last few days.
So
we've got
shaped.
I know that's what came to me in the video. Starfish shaped starships, and so and then we've been talking a lot about pyramids, and so pyramid energy, writing down a lot of different things, and they were saying to us now today is our recording this on 5/18/2021. Today's date equals 19, which equals 1, and that's center. So
or 10.
5 plus 5.
2 5s.
It actually does equal 10 because it equals 19, which is 9 and 1 is 10, which reduced down to 1. So actually, thank you for pointing that out. It actually equals 10.
It's a 5 day.
It's a 5 day. So
and we live at a 555 address.
Well, that's true too. He was just playing with the numbers of our address and was coming up with we live in a 555 house. So
5555.
And this is part of one of the messages that they gave us was about the word signs. Signs has 5 letters. Part of the word signals, significance. So these are signs to all of us. They have some significance. They're a signal for me to wake up to something, to connect to something, and then there's a significance to my journey, our journey, if you're watching this. So they were showing us these different aloha. I was just reminded, 5 letters. So they're very excited about things that have to do with 5. And
so we wanted to make a video that allows the opportunity for Wendy to channel this 5 consciousness and let them say hello. Hello.
So, hello.
Another 5.
Hello. So, hello. The word hello has 5 letters. That excites them very much that we use this greeting. That is a universal greeting, and that word hello is actually translated into every language, not always of course having 5 letters, but that it is translated. Hello is a universal word, and it just happens to be 5 letters, so they're very excited about that as well. So there's significance to that. The idea that aloha has 5 letters is also very significant. An energy entity that we'll be talking about more, anima, 5 letters. Currently, we've been receiving that she is above Uluru, 5 letters. So, these actually are I'm just now realizing that these are also other messages they're sending me right now because of the connection. So, pyramids also, many of us, most of us, Dave and I also included, connections to Sirius, 5 letters.
Pyramids have 5 sides.
And that's what I was
Actually,
just
if
going
you
to say.
include the bottom surface.
Because really, if you look at it from a geometrical standpoint, if you pick up the pyramid and pick it up and move it around, it literally has 5 sides. And actually, that's funny because I was actually going to mention that as well. What's interesting about there's connections to everything. By simply the nature that everything is interconnected and everything is connected. So therefore, my excitements are going to be connected. And so as I'm excited about these things, it's also going to be drawing in other things of my awareness of these ideas about one of the other reasons why I'm connecting with the idea of Anima, Uluru, and these 5s. So that's the gist of where all of this was coming from. And so there's also a couple of other things that as I'm looking too that we were studying a little bit, and I wanted to share just now that they're also sort of jumping out at me in some of the notes that I wrote was magic. 5 letters. When we do magic, typically, almost always, we're understanding the energy in our 5 fingers, rooting with our 5 toes, 5 and 5, 2 feet, 2 hands. So this is part of their message. It's interesting because I realized that we were looking it up for another reason. I think another kind of connection in Sobek has 5 letters.
Yes.
And I just
an Egyptian god of the crocodile, sort of. You can look that up too.
Yeah, so we're
not going to spend a lot.
That's
of
a
time
conversation for another day. But so I was just looking at some of my other notes, and I had also realized that since I began my journey and starting writing down symbols and signs.
Oh yeah, 5 hybrid races.
Well, that's coming. And so that's
I'm just amping up the energy.
One of the reasons why we're connecting here. And so he's talking about amping up the energy. And one of the symbols that I've been drawing for a long time is the spiral with these 5 petals. So all of this was kind of merging into the energy here. So with that said, that is really how that all began. And
5 continents.
Yes, and
5 seas.
So there
5 Great Lakes.
It just kept coming. All of the information kept coming because these are breadcrumbs for all of us and all of us that are having this experience, and how interconnected all these things are.
And when you slice an apple in half, you get an image that's very similar to the sand dollar.
And it looks almost identical.
5 pits.
If you look
5
at
seeds.
It's got the 5 seeds.
Ooh, now we're
talking. So
seeds.
now we're talking about the seeds. Okay, so that's how this all. This is how also this all intertwines because of the 5 and the 2. They are the reflections of each other. They also equal 7. Also significant in all of this conversation. Yes, and could you explain that just a little bit? Where you received that image? Because I was looking for that.
Okay, so you have the 5 and the 2, and if you draw them sort of like on an LCD sort of thing, they're direct reflections of another. And if you think of them as waveforms, when they appear together, they cancel each other out. Perfect balance and harmony. So what exactly that means, I guess you could decide for yourself. But it is by, no coincidence that the 2 and the 5 appear in this fashion. And because everything is frequency and everything is energy, when you plot out a 2 and a 5 waveform, It just so happens that they complement each other. So what do the 5 have to say about that?
I was just really feeling their energy, and I wanted to say too that talking about amping up the energy, as I was getting their energy through with the starfish, I was drawing these symbols, literally amping up the energy, and that was what this message was about, as well as amping up the energy. So, hello, everyone. Hello. We would love to say hello to you. Hello, 5 letters. And one of the reasons why we're very excited to connect with this channel is that her name, Wendy Wolf, each also has 5 letters in each of her first and last name, as does David Yellen. So, together they are 5 and 5 and 5 and 5. And little did the channel realize that we have been connecting with her for a long time. Time. We love the idea of time, because one of the ways that we connect with all of you, as we do with her, is through time. 5:55 a.m. and 5:55 p.m. Realize this too, that as we have pointed out through the channels, that this is the last digits on the clock. There is, in essence, there is a 6:55, yet there is no ilakose. Our apologies, we're losing our train of thought.
666.
Nika devesho no sevese te ila so osha. As we connected with the channel, we were reminding her about the reasons why we have connected with you, and where you have left yourselves literally breadcrumbs across the cosmos, as the human physical form is known as the number 5, and humanity is represented by the number 5. 5 extremities: head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and this is universal form. In that also, the idea in that you have the 5 fingers, 5 toes, and within the structure of your co-creation, you use the 5 in a variety of ways, beginning with, if you will, the 5 elements that you have used to represent the bridges, the connections, in that the earth, air, fire, water, and ether that you experience as your 5 elements, being that earth is a part of all that is. The elements of this are contained in all that is. So therefore, this representation is rippled out through all that is. This representation you have also chosen to mirror in your animals. This also was an image that was given to the channel, in that if you look at the average animal, it also mirrors this, the head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and also the idea of the 2, for within that structure idea is the 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 ears, 2 nostrils. The idea replicates itself through the bodies of these ideas. With the 2 lungs, the idea of the 2 being replicated throughout both the animal and human. And of course, this would represent as the connection to the hybridization, in that this was the hominid species of the planet at the time. And this representation is again flowing throughout all of creation history, if you will. We connect for a variety of these reasons because the channels are excited about this idea of hybridization and the 5 hybrid races. And this example of the 5 petals was given to the channel to represent, to show all of you that this has been represented throughout all of what you are creating as your fruit, so on. We present ourselves from the 5th dimension, that vibration of non-physical reality that vibrates at a 555,000 cycles per second, in what you understand as cycles per second. When you begin to realize the connections between all of this and the number 5 and the center, this is the center of the clock. This was the idea of the 1 to 9, the center of the clock, the 5, the center. And today being number 1, reduced down to number 1, is center in the Sirius symbol. These ideas and these excitements, once realized, and as the channel is sharing information through videos showing and explaining, inviting you to connect with 5 petals of the flowers, 5 leaf plants, because they resonate with you for a particular reason, because you vibrate in this 5 resonation frequency. When you allow yourself to immerse yourself in that idea, you begin to vibrate in that frequency, in that it then allows more fully to connect with the 5 hybrid races that together, combined with all of you, become the 7th hybrid race. This, the 5 and the 2 and the 7, was part of the message of all of this idea, in that sevens, lucky sevens, the channels met on 7/7. The date equaled 7. The channel's birth date, David, 25, equaling 7. Also, the mirror, the 2 and the 5, the 2 untouchable numbers. And as the channel vibrates at an 11 master number, and 3, as David resonates, creates a master vibration that created a triangulation, if you will, of the idea of this coming together, this creating a new place for all of you to visit, as it was a joining, if you will, of the idea of lucky sevens, this knowing that there was a 7 vibration, and 7/11 also, even your chain store 7/11, this idea of the 7/11 vibration of the master's vibration, and the 7, the idea that this race of beings is as they would currently call themselves, the hybrid 7, the H7. Is the idea of a new vibration of beings that were the masters of taking the darkness full circle. And that during the last great solar eclipse, light moved through the darkness, and those that experienced darkness in its totality along that stream were, shall we say, rebalanced in a new way. And balance is what will be covered at a later time more through the idea of anima, and they will explain more about that idea. So for now, we would just simply invite, if you will, and are excited to do so, to explore more of this idea of connecting to all of the elements, if you will, of that together will create this new vibrational species that will literally vibrate at a higher frequency that will literally create an entire new version of Earth that only those of that vibration will be in tune to. Yet access their own multidimensionality in a new way that those who all across creation who want to read the library of what has taken place. There's difficulty describing for now, let us say that it will be a guiding light frequency that will shine in such a way that anyone who can and desires to tap into that frequency and read the story, if you will, of what has taken place here. It will be a grand library of ascension into the darkest, taking the darkest into the light in a way that humanity has never experienced, that those will look upon them as the true masters. And that is you. All of you. So we thank you for exploring your own breadcrumbs, your own backyard. And tap into our frequency in this idea of acceleration into moving toward a being that has never been before. And we and you find this very, very exciting. Very exciting.
Thank you for your sharing.
You should do.
And your connection and your excitement.
And I don't want to cry, so I'm just going to stop right here.
Well, so this was the first time, really, that Wendy has allowed and opened up fully to an extended amount of channeled message in this way on video. And so we thank you for joining us.
And they really do sort of represent themselves as starfish to me. So that's sort of how they look, is like starfish.
So we're going to continue to explore these fun things. And we invite you to do the same and share with us your experiences and your exciting things that you discover about 5. And until next time.
Till next time.
5, 5, 5, 5.
I know, I was trying to think of a word.